Hello there, how are you doing today? How has your writing been going lately? Are you still enjoying it? Or have you hit the proverbial wall or literal wall and you're now banging your head against it like this? Not a good idea unless of course you're like me and you're a heavy metal fan and you're immune to the effects of banging your head. But it might also be a good idea to try a new genre of writing. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today because, well, the reason being is I have some ideas for other genres outside of the crime fiction that I'm normally doing, so might as well pursue it and tell you some ideas that I came up with for how to try new genres. Anyway, so we will do that starting with number 1. Read. Read, read. You will need, and read some more, you will need to know the tropes and genre expectations of the new one you're going into. Read the greats and the not so great so you know how bad writing in that genre sounds. Read the indie authors, the trad published authors, modern classics and older classics. You want to pay attention to the pacing, chapter length, and tone so you are not casually sampling the books. Also, you will want to read craft books for that genre, something like this for romance. Here's a good one, Romancing the Beat. If you want to get into post-apocalypse or survival, here's this one, Writing Apocalypse and Survival by Jackson Dean Chase. Yep, that's the right one. And for horror, that's the couple ideas that I have for it. Here's this one, Writer's Workshop of Horror and Save the Cat Writes Horror. Good books. Check them out. Really awesome. Anyway, number 2, you want to study the promises of the genre. Because every genre has what could be considered a contract for the readers. And if you brew it up, if you break the contract, they may take your book, pretend this is a book, and throw it out the window, throw it across the room, or just toss it up like this and just toss it away. The promises are the emotional and narrative outcomes readers expect. Crime fiction promises tension, mystery, and justice. The bad guy gets his comeuppance. Romance promises a happy ever after, or at least a happy for now. He sweeps her off her feet and he carries her away into the sunset for their happy ever after. And horror, well, that promises dread and fear, because you know someone's gonna get it. Number 3, start with shorter works. Kind of like how before you jump right into the deep end where you're first learning to swim, you get your toes wet, so to speak. So basically start with writing a 2,000 to 5,000 word short story as opposed to a full-length novel, which would be jumping right into the deep end when you don't know how to swim. And as you get the hang of things, you can increase the length of the works that you do. That should help you get with the hang of writing that type of story. Number 4, bring your existing strengths. You don't necessarily have to reinvent yourself as a writer when you're entering a new genre. Let's say you're like me and you write crime fiction. Your skills at writing tension in this genre can translate into horror, thrillers, and sci-fi mysteries. Number 5, borrow familiar structures. Water is great. Similar to the tip above, when you're entering a new genre, you can use what you're familiar with in writing a supernatural mystery, or a fantasy, or a science fiction investigation. The ideas are endless. Number 6, learn the conventions. You will need to know the recurring archetypes, settings, and terminology of the genre so you can make it your own. This is different from the genre promises, where the promises are the emotional outcomes, the conventions are the tools and patterns used to achieve the outcomes. For crime fiction, you have your crime, obviously, your detectives, your suspects, your red herrings, interrogations, and a ticking clock down to the final beat. For horror, you have isolated settings, ominous weather, and monsters. If you're thinking of romance, you have the meet cute, opposites attract, love triangles, and misunderstandings. Number 7, what excites you about the new genre? That's something to think about. Don't enter a new genre just because it's trendy. 2 reasons for off the top of my head for that, so I picked the 2 reasons like that when I was thinking of this, are, well, by the time you get the new book out into the world, the trend may very well have passed you by. But if it hasn't passed you by, and you're only writing the book for a quick $1 or $2 or 1,000, because you think it's going to make you your Stephen King income, or 1% of it anyway, the readers can tell pretty quickly, like the old spot a phony a mile away. And despite that, in fiction, where we are making things up, you don't want to be a phony. Number 8, Expect to write wrong at first. You might find your first attempts a little clumsy, like you're tripping and falling flat on your face, or unoriginal, or too heavily influenced by other writers. That's why it is recommended to start with shorter works, and you don't necessarily need to publish your early stuff anyway. You can keep it secret. Number 9, analyze openings and endings. Study the following: how fantasy introduces and builds worlds, same as science fiction. How horror creates dread and fear. How thrillers create urgency, and how romance creates chemistry, not so much blow up, except unless you're having those volcanic eruptions between the two. Anyway, number 10, keep one foot in familiar territory. Genre blending can help you in ways you might not even know until you are fully ready to give up the old genre, if you want to give that up, that is. You can try something like this: crime plus horror, because, well, Michael Myers was committing crimes, wasn't he, when he was going around stabbing people? Romance and mystery, because maybe the cop and the criminal are lovers. Or the two partners are lovers or something like that. You never know. Anyway, thriller and science fiction can also be a good one too. This will allow you to experiment with something new while keeping something familiar. Number 11. It would be a good idea to join communities in the genre. There are Facebook groups, and pretty much every social media site probably has a group dedicated to that genre. You can check out book talk videos for that genre as well, and you will quickly learn what readers love and hate, and pretty much everything in between. Number 12, write a practice novel privately. In a similar vein for writing short works and writing wrong, you can, if you so choose, write your new novel to yourself. Keep it to yourself, that is. Not let anyone else know about it until you feel it is ready for feedback. Or you could write 2 or 3, and as you feel you get better, then you can have your later work sent out to the world for feedback. Number 13, you want to watch for accidental cliches. As a new genre writer, you may find that you are overusing the tropes because you're learning the surface features. To avoid this, ask, is this fresh? Or am I copying the first thing associated with the genre? Number 14, study pacing differences. Each genre has its own unique pacing. Thrillers move quickly. Romance builds on emotional beats, and horror builds suspense and tension slowly. And finally, accept that some readers might not follow you. Unless you're one of those world-famous writers who could write a story about people who sit around doing nothing but picking their noses all the day, and it would still hit the bestseller list and make that author millions more dollars than what they've already made, there will be some readers who will refuse to read anything you write that isn't in the old genre. Think of it as a friendship that has run its course. It does happen. Anyway, so that's what I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video and that it helps you with your writing. If not, just keep it a secret, shall we? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments what you'd like to have me cover in the future. Anyway, have a great day and a great week. I'll see you in 7 days. So long, everybody. Yeah.